Hi, this is your host. The Arctic fox is one of the cutest creatures living in one of the harshest environments on Earth. It's no wonder that this little guy has become an internet sensation. But how exactly does it survive such freezing temperatures? As you probably already know, the Arctic fox lives in the Arctic Circle, where temperatures can go as low as negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 40 degrees Celsius. This is so freezing that most animals would immediately freeze to death if they were exposed to such temperatures. So how does the Arctic fox survive? Well, there are two main factors that help it survive the extreme cold: its thick fur coat and its small body size. The Arctic fox has the thickest fur of any animal on the planet. Its fur is about 6 times warmer than the fur of a Labrador retriever. If you were to grab an Arctic fox by its fur and then release it into a freezing environment, it would not feel anything but a slight tickle. That's because the Arctic fox's fur works like a multi-layer cake, trapping a layer of warm air close to its skin. This layer of trapped air acts as a barrier between the fox and the freezing temperatures outside. The more air you have trapped in your fur, the warmer you will be. This is why some of the warmest winter coats have lots of down feathers in them. Down feathers have very thin, hollow shafts which allow them to trap lots of air. The same concept applies to the Arctic fox. Its fur has lots of tiny air pockets which trap heat very effectively. In addition to its fur, the Arctic fox has another trick up its sleeve: its paws. You see, the Arctic fox lives on land unlike other animals that live in the Arctic Circle, such as polar bears and ringed seals, which spend most of their time on the ice. Because the Arctic fox lives on land, it needs to keep its paws warm, and so it has developed a furry lining inside its paws to help it do just that. This also helps with traction, allowing the Arctic fox to walk on ice without slipping. The second factor that helps the Arctic fox survive the freezing temperatures is its small body size. You see, smaller bodies have a higher surface area to volume ratio. This means that for a small animal, its body takes up more space in comparison to its volume than a larger animal. For example, if you were to take a large rock and a small pebble, the pebble would have a much higher surface area to volume ratio than the rock. This is important for the Arctic fox because it allows it to lose heat faster than larger animals. In other words, the smaller its body, the faster its body temperature rises. This is important because the Arctic fox needs to keep its body temperature higher than the freezing temperature of water in order to survive. In addition to this, the Arctic fox has very short ears and a tiny little tail. This helps it reduce the amount of heat lost through its ears and tail. And the Arctic fox also has the ability to lower its metabolic rate during the winter, which reduces the amount of energy it needs to survive. Hibernation, which some of you may be familiar with, is essentially a slowed down state of being where an animal lowers its metabolic rate in order to conserve energy. Although the Arctic fox does not hibernate, it does something similar in order to save energy. By slowing down its metabolism, the Arctic fox is able to go longer periods of time between meals. This is important because during the winter, prey can be hard to come by. Although the Arctic fox has many adaptations to help it survive in the freezing cold, it still needs to stay warm, like all of us. To do this, it snuggles with its family members to keep warm. Even though the Arctic fox is a solitary creature, it will sometimes snuggle with its siblings or mother during the winter to keep warm. Sometimes these snuggle piles can include up to 10 foxes. Thanks for watching. See you next time.